Bergen Stage's Radio Theater continues its tribute to women writers for Women's History Month. Today, we bring you the intriguing story of suspense, The Man Who Knew How, by Dorothy L. Sayre.
Hello. Is this seat taken?
Oh, no. You're perfectly welcome, I'm sure.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see someone come in, as a matter of fact. Night journeys are always a bit tedious, don't you think?
Well, I suppose it depends on one's destination.
Oh, yes. Would you like a book to read? I have a copy of Hangman's Holiday here. I found it extremely good.
Thank you very much. I never read detective stories. They're so inadequate, don't you think so?
Well, most of them are rather lacking in characterization and human interest. But on a railway journey, one really has to concern.
I wasn't speaking of the characters so much. I meant the crimes. Bungled, you know?
Oh, I don't believe you there.
Oh, those dreadful murderers are so incompetent. They bore me.
Oh, I say. I think you're quite wrong. The criminals in books are usually a good deal more imaginative and ingenious than murderers in real life.
Than the murderers who are found out in real life.
Even some of those did pretty well before they got pinched. Crippen, for instance. Don't you remember Dr. Crippen?
Ah, yes, of course.
You know, Crippen need never have been caught if he hadn't lost his head and run off to America.
Well, that's the point, you see. He did lose his head. Very gross.
Yes.
He bungled the whole business. It could be so simple. Now, just for argument, if you were going to commit a murder, what weapon or means would you choose?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. I've never really given it much thought to actually, I know, yes. I would use a sandbag.
A sandbag?
Yes, it's worked very successfully in 2 stories I've recently read.
Sand.
Oh, yes.
Oh, pardon me. I didn't mean to be rude, but the clumsiness of it all. The elaboration, the lies, the paraphernalia, the alibi. Absolutely unnecessary.
Oh, come on. You can't expect committing a murder and getting away with it as simple as sharing peas.
Oh, you think that, do you? Well, you're mistaken, sir. It can be quite simple.
Oh, well, if it's so easy, how would you set about committing a murder?
I? Well, that's different. I should never think twice about it. You see, I know how.
You haven't tried, have you?
Oh, my dear fellow, it isn't a case of trying. There's nothing tentative about my method.
What is this horrible method?
Oh, you don't expect me to tell you, do you?
I'd never think of murdering anybody.
Oh, yes, you would if you really believe people saying that. We've all of us got the nice little murder locked inside just waiting for a chance to come out. Why are all these tremendous artificial barriers built up around murder by the church and by the law?
I'd say...
Just because it's anybody's crime, that's why. It's as natural as breathing.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, that's what most people would say, but I wouldn't trust them. Not with sulfate of thanatol to be bought for 2p at any chemist's.
Sulfate of what?
You think I'm giving something away? Well, I'm not. It's a mixture of that and 1 or 2 other things. You see, all equally ordinary and cheap. Why, for 9p you can make up enough to poison the entire cabinet.
Dear me.
Of course, it wouldn't do to polish off so many at one time. Might look queer if they all died simultaneously in their baths.
In there? Why in their baths?
Well, that's the way it would take them. It's not the mixture alone that does the trick. You see, it needs hot water to make the stuff take effect. Just a hot bath any time from a few hours to a few days after administration. It's quite simple chemical reaction that couldn't possibly be detected by analysis. It just look like heart failure.
I've never heard of such a thing.
You know, it's very odd how often one seems to read of people being found dead in the bathtub. Have you noticed?
No, but look here. If nobody is fit to be trusted with this potent formula...
I'm not to be trusted either, eh?
Exactly.
Well, that's true, but it's past praying for now. I know the thing and I can't unknow it. Unfortunate, perhaps, but there it is. Ah, are we slowing down?
Yes, this is rugby.
Rugby already? Dear me, I must get out of here. I, have a little business to do in rugby.
I'm most in debt to you, sir. I've been quite entertained with your secret formula.
Thank you.
Well, just a moment. What did you say was the name of that stuff? What was it? Sulfate of,
Now look here. If I were you, my dear sir, I'd just put it out of my head and forget it. There's a good fellow. Forget it.
Yes. That would be better. I will try to forget it.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Charles.
I have an egg for your breakfast, sir.
Oh, thank you.
They're quite scarce now, you know.
Yes, I know.
Will you have your tea now, sir?
Yes, please. Anything in the post, Charles?
Only a note from your tailor, sir. He'd be pleased to have you come in for a fitting at 1 on Tuesday next.
Oh, very well. Charles? What's the, backstairs gossip in the neighborhood, Charles?
Oh, nothing much, sir. Mr. Skimmins, that old gentleman in number 11, had a falling out with his nephew and has drawn up a new will, they say.
Oh, really?
He's left everything to his housekeeper, a Mrs. Digby.
Well, she's been with him nearly 20 years. Ah, that reminds me, Charles. I should draw up my will, you know, one of these days. Charles, I shan't forget you. You've been more than loyal to me, Charles.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, Charles?
Yes, sir.
Charles, has it ever occurred to you that an unusually large number of people die in bathtubs?
Bathtub, sir?
Yes, you know. They seem to have a heart attack while they're in their bath and they never come out of it.
It's a common occurrence, I dare say. There was one like it in the paper this morning.
There was?
Yes, sir. Right on the front page it was. That's how I happened to notice. Here, in this account, sir.
Oh. Wealthy manufacturer dies in bath.
Mr. Brittleseed was, sir. Of the Brittleseed Engineering Works at Rugby.
Rugby?
Did you know him, sir?
No, I didn't know him.
I believe the paper says his wife found the poor man heart failure.
That's a peculiar coincidence.
What, sir?
I was just thinking, Charles. I met a man on the train down from Carlisle last night. He got off at Rugby. He said he had a bit of business there. I wonder what his business was. Charles! Charles! Charles, there's someone at the door! Oh dear me. The bell must be out of order. Where is my other slipper? Charles! All right. Just a moment.
be there.
I'm coming! Oh, Miss Digby.
Oh, I didn't mean to rouse you, sir. Oh, but Mr. Skimmings never kept a phone in the house, sir. And, sir, perhaps you could tell me who to call.
Step inside, Miss Digby. Now, what precisely seems to be the trouble?
Well, I thought he was a long time in the bath, sir. But I never dreamed.
Oh, dear me. Is Mr. Skimmings being taken ill? Is that what's the matter?
Worse than ill, sir. He's all blue, he is.
Dear me.
If only I looked at him sooner, sir. But you know a gentleman in his bath, how it is, sir.
Oh, yes, of course.
I must say, sir, I've always been afraid of something like this happening. The old gentleman would take his bath so very hot.
Probably had a light stroke, Miss Digby. I dare say the doctor will be able to bring him round.
Not likely, sir. From the look of him, he's been dead for some time, sir.
Stand back, stand back. Relatives won't be admitted until the coroner's completed examination of the body.
Hello. Would you have a look at this card, please, officer?
Who did you want to see in there, sir?
Mrs. Digby.
You'll find her in the library, giving testimony most likely.
Ah, yes. They've discovered the will, I imagine?
I don't know nothing about that, sir.
Well, I'll just run in and have a look around, eh?
Officer! Officer!
Yes, sir?
Who was that man who just went into Mr. Skimmings' house?
Search me.
Why did you let him in?
He persuaded me like.
Officer, do you realize what you've done? Of course, officer. I have no right to say, but that man may have gone in there to destroy evidence.
What evidence? Oh, I get it. You're one of them there sensation seekers. Balking at the wrong tea, my lord. There ain't no murder case here. The old bloke died of heart failure.
Yes, I know. While taking a hot bath.
Well, it happens every day. 5 or 6 cases right round this neighborhood in the past month alone.
Yes, I've been keeping track of them, officer. Do you know that in every single one of these cases, the person who died left quite a lot of money?
I wouldn't be surprised, sir. This is a wealthy neighborhood.
All right, then. That's my number, Mrs. Digby. Keep me informed of any unusual developments, eh?
I will that, sir.
There he is, officer! There he is! That's the man, all right!
What man's that, sir?
Well, hello. We meet again?
Yes, I rather imagine we would.
Did you know the old gentleman, Mr. Skimmings?
Only to speak to you on the street.
Oh, then you live near here.
Oh, yes. Old house down. I'm just going back.
Mind if I walk along?
Oh, no, of course not.
Odd our meeting again like this, isn't it?
Most peculiar, eh? Do you live in these parts too?
Here? Oh no, I was only here on a little matter of business.
But yes, last time we met, you had business at rugby.
Oh, yes, so I had. Well, my business takes me all over the country. I never know where I may be wanted next.
It was while you were at rugby that silly old Brittlesea was found dead in his bath, wasn't it?
Why, yes. Yes, a funny thing. Coincidence. He left all his money to his wife, I believe. She's a rich woman now. Good-looking girl, a lot younger than you are.
This is my gate.
Oh, already?
Will you come in and have a drink?
Why, yes. I should like to, thanks very much. I trust your wife won't object to this intrusion.
I have no wife.
Ah, bachelor's quarters.
Yes, I do myself quite well under the circumstances.
Oh, you're right. This is capital.
Would you give me your hat?
Oh, thank you.
I think my man has got off to bed, but I dare say I think we can manage. This way, please.
Ooh, that pie looks good.
Do you take soda?
Yes.
It is remarkable how many people have been found dead in their baths lately, isn't it?
You think it's remarkable, do you?
Well, I suppose.
No. Perhaps it is?
I suppose I've been taking more notice on account on the conversation we've had on the train.
You know, it is a curious thing how, when once your attention is attracted to any particular set of circumstances, that set of circumstances seems to haunt you.
True.
Now, let's say you get appendicitis. Immediately, the newspapers are filled with paragraphs about people who died of or recovered from appendicitis.
True.
You see it mentioned in all the magazines. You'll discover that many of your friends and acquaintances have had appendicitis.
Yes. That's exactly how it is. In all these bathtub deaths, the sequence of events is the same in each case. The hot bath, the discovery of the body, the inquest, and the medical opinion always the same, due to heart failure following immersion in hot water.
Yes.
It just makes me wonder. You know how one does, foolishly. Whether anybody else had happened to hit upon that drug you mentioned, what was it?
Oh, I shouldn't think so. I fancy I'm the only person that knows about that.
You a chemist?
Oh, I'm a little of everything. Sort of a general utility man. I do a good bit of studying on my own, too. I see you have some very interesting books here.
Yes. I collect modern first editions.
May I see that green volume there?
Oh, certainly.
Ah.
I'll fetch it down for you. Sir Henry James? It's quite a bargain, really. Here we are.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, an interesting hobby. E. Pender. Is that your name? Pender?
Yes. Everett Pender. You have the advantage of me now, sir.
Oh. Well, I'm one of the great Smith clan. And work for my brain. Here's your drink. You're retired, I suppose?
Thank you. Yes, only recently. I was in a bank until I came into this bit of money.
Well, you're one of the lucky ones. Not married, comfortably fixed. Yes, I dare say you won't be needing any sulfate of What? Any useful drugs in the near future?
I shan't be coming to you for assistance yet while. Besides, how should I find you if I wanted you?
Oh, you wouldn't need to find me. I should find you.
Yes.
Never any difficulty about that. Well, I best be getting on. No, don't get up. I'll find my hat. Thank you for your hospitality. I don't expect we shall meet again, but we may, of course.
Yes.
Things work out so queerly sometimes.
Yes, they do, don't they? Well, good night, Mr. Smith.
Good night.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Oh, hello, Charles. I thought you had gone to bed.
I heard voices. Thought you might be wanting something.
Oh, that was just an acquaintance that stopped in for a drink. He's gone.
Shall I take the glasses?
Yes, thank you.
Do you wish to finish yours, sir? Mr. Pender, your drink, sir. Do you wish to finish?
Oh, yes, of course. I thought I'd had. There you are.
I'll draw your bath when you're ready for it, sir.
Oh, there's no hurry. Tell me, Charles, did you ever notice a tall chap with thick spectacles and curly gray hair calling on Mrs. Digby?
Why, yes, sir. Come to think of it, I have, sir. But then he always seems to be about when there's a death in the neighborhood. Lately, that is.
Did you ever talk with him, Charles?
Why not mention it, sir?
You did talk to him, Charles? Why are you so upset?
Well, sir, It was about Mr. Skimmings changing his will in favor of Mrs. Digby. The grey-haired gentleman, Smith, I believe his name is, asked whether you had changed your will lately.
Did you tell him I'd left everything to you?
Not in so many words, sir.
But you gave it away! So that's his game.
Good Lord in heavens! What is it, sir?
That drink! He poured it while I was getting a book down from that case.
What is it, sir?
Charles, under no circumstances am I to have a hot bath for at least 2 weeks. Do you understand? No hot baths.
Very well, sir.
Charles, in the paper, has anyone else died in his bath?
Why, as it happens, yes, sir. You heard it yourself. The inquest will be held tomorrow at 3.
The inquest? The inquest. Yes, Charles, I know what my duty is. I shall be at that inquest tomorrow.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Charles.
I was not expecting you home for a bit, sir. You didn't stay long at the inquest.
I wasn't interested in inquests, Charles. I went to the inquest only to see if a certain man would be there, and he was, Charles. He was there, as I expected.
Yes, sir. The afternoon paper has come. There's still another one of those bath deaths.
Another? Yes. They will go on and on unless someone stops them. Charles, where was this one?
Longstone Place, sir. A young woman this time. A most...
I'm going out again, Charles. I have some business to attend to. Over in Longstone Place, as a matter of fact. Goodbye.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you, sir?
Do you have, one of those old-fashioned sandbags?
Sandbags, sir?
The kind one uses to keep drafts from coming in under a door.
Yes. I think I have one left. Yes, here we are, sir. Not much demand for these nowadays.
No, I suppose not.
Now, careful if you use it on a stair landing, sir. You know, one of these fell and hit a woman on the head, a case I know. Knocked her out cold.
You don't say, really? Well, I'll be very careful. Yes, very careful.
Hello! Bobby, have you got a light there?
Yes, sir. Here you are, sir.
Well, would you like a cigar to smoke later on?
Thank you, sir. By the way, sir, there's a bloke following you. I don't know whether you've noticed.
Yes, I noticed. Let him alone, Bobby. I'm going to have some sport with him.
Right you are, sir. Good night.
Good night. Hello, Pender. Come on out from behind that post. I know you're following me. I've known it ever since I left Longstone Place.
You should have told that Bobby to arrest me.
Now, why should I?
Because I am going to kill you!
Why ever do you want to do a thing like that?
To put an end to one of the most fiendish careers in annals of crime. You have committed your last murder, Mr. Smith.
Now, come. Look here, old boy, my name's not Smith at all. I'm William Buckley, and
I didn't imagine it was really Smith.
Do you actually believe that I'm responsible for all these bathtub deaths?
Do you deny that you are?
Why should I?
You told me yourself you're the only man who knows the formula for the poison.
Sulfate of thanatol? Oh yes, indeed. You have me there, Pender.
And you stood to profit by every one of those deaths, didn't you, Mr. Buckley?
You have me there too. Now look here, Pender. You're a great reader of crime stories. Haven't you ever wished someone would commit the perfect crime and get away with it just once?
Yes, I have. God help me. I don't anymore. I saw old Skimmings dead in his bath, blue and horrible. The man who committed that outrage must die.
Now, Pender, wait.
You, Buckley! You, Buckley!
But, Pender, you're mad!
You must die!
No! No! Wait! Ugh.
Well, Mr. Pender,
A double,
what do you have, sir?
a double brandy, if you please.
You're wearing awful cold, eh? You don't look at all well, if I may say so, sir.
No,
Ought to be home in bed, Yad.
I dare say.
You got to call for the phone, Gibbons.
Right away, sir.
What's up, Martin?
Promise not to beat me to the phone, and I'll tell you.
If it's interesting like murder, my paper wouldn't print it anyway. Come on, tell me. What is it?
Bill Buckley, of all people.
What?
Yes. He'd gone to an inquest. Some woman died in her bath. Buckley must have been on his way to interview the husband in his laboratory. 'Twas a rough district close to the river. Somebody crept up on him and gave him such a blow it broke his neck.
Oh, good lord.
Police say it must have been a sandbag.
Well, who did it? Do they know?
Haven't the vaguest notion. Got clean away in the fog.
Oh, that's too bad. Bill Buckley was a great crime reporter.
Yeah, he was the decent sort, too. Yes, I worked with him for a time. Great sport, no end of a like for it.
I know.
Did you ever hear of that sulfate of thanatol stunt he used to work?
No. What was that?
Look at you sober as a judge he would, and then tell you about this sulfate of thanatol, which, mixed with a few other things he said, would cause death if you swallowed it and then took a hot bath.
No.
Nobody believed him, did they?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes,
no.
he used to work on that wheeze on poor folks.
Oh.
In right-way carriages to see how they'd take it.
Oh. No.
Would you believe that one chap actually...
Oh, Mr. Pender!
Hello, that bloke's fainted.
How's the old boy feeling now, Charles?
Much better, sir. He caught a bit of a chill out in the fog, I think. I put him to soak in a hot bath.
Ah, that ought to do the trick. Well, if there's nothing more we can do.
Mr. Pender wants to thank you for bringing him home, gentlemen.
Oh, it was nothing, really. Well, good night.
Good night, gentlemen. Is your bath hot enough, sir? Mr. Pender? Mr. Pender?
I found out the name of the drug, Charles. Sulfate of thanatol.
Sir, Mr. Pender? Mr. Pender! He's dead!
And so closes Bergen Stage's Radio Theater's production of The Man Who Knew How by Dorothy L. Sayer, and starring Alexander Preziosi as Smith Buckley, Nicholas Zarillo as Pender, Rob Kirshner as Charles, Alana Bronco as Mrs. Digby, Peter Helf as Inspector, Hannah Starr as Shopkeeper, Dean Matson as Mike, Jim Bubgardner as Gibbons, David Legrand as Martin, and Mark Cruz as Eamon. Dean Matson is also our recording engineer and special effects creator. Marianne Coe Rivera is our video engineer, and I am Jim Bumgardner, your host. Thank you to Bergen Community College, the BCC Office of Student Life, and the BCC Media Technologies Department. Tune in to another episode of Bergen Stage's Radio Theater soon, and be sure to catch some of our earlier episodes available online. Until next time, don't touch that dial, and if you do, remember to disinfect it first.